I ain't taking advice from a 94-year-old. Look how old she is. Why on earth would I listen to her? And that's why you will always remain broke with your big head. Don't you realize people who've come before you, most likely they know something that you don't know? Huh? Well, some people... Oh, my days. Let's get into the video.
You could go back in time to, let's say, your 25-year-old self. You could give her one piece of advice. What would you say to her?
I wouldn't go back to being 25 for anybody's money. The world has changed. People have changed. If you're going to do nothing and become a vegetable of watching TV, then you're not going to live to be 90 or 100. Be honest with yourself. I think that that's the reason that you live longer.
Wow.
Have you ever wondered
Wow, she's a woke 94-year-old. Don't forget, she was in the era of the television and all of this. And she's even saying, don't watch TV. The equivalent for us would be, don't be a social media head. I called you big head earlier on because, yes, I can see your big head right through the camera right now. But don't be a social media consumer junkie. You know what? Instead of consuming, why don't you start creating? And maybe you realize it's not a scam. All these young people who are making money online is actually true. And you can do it and it's not too late. You know? Stand up. Stand up for yourself. Do something for yourself. Nobody's coming to rescue you. I'm telling you that right now, and you're not even listening to me. You think this is a joke. You think you're just watching a video of some guy. I'm staring at you in the face. I'm telling you, no one's coming to save you. And you're just going to skip past this video. Bruv, there's no hope for you.
what advice some of the oldest and most experienced people in the world would give to someone of your age? A few weeks ago, we interviewed Yvonne in the Northwest Territories in Northern Canada. Yvonne is recognized as one of Canada's trailblazers for discovering the North. Back when she was younger, she used to fly airplanes through bushes, known as a bush pilot, to discover and communicate with some of the most...
A bush pilot, I'm sorry. That sounds like an African term or something. Hey, look at that bush pilot. Huh? Me and my bush pilots are flying airplanes under the bush. That's what they call me, bush pilot. It's known as a bush pilot. What the heck? This went from advice to some ancestral things. But
trailblazers for discovering the North. Back when she was younger, she used to fly airplanes through bushes, known as a bush pilot, to discover and communicate with some of the most northern...
I'm sorry. Oh, they couldn't have come up with a better name than a bush. Hey, I know what, so basically, right, we're going to be pilots, but we fly real close to the bushes. I wonder what we should name that. Aerodymorphism. I know. Bush pilot. A bush pilot? Yeah, because we're flying near the bushes. So original, right? Flipping bush pilots, bro. Get out of here.
Communities. Back when she was young, Yvonne is recognized as one of Canada's trailblazers for discovering the North. Back when she was younger, she used to fly airplanes through bushes, known as a bush pilot, to discover and communicate with some of the most...
I don't know. I didn't expect that. I didn't think I'd find that funny. Oh, my days, a bush pilot, Oh, what do you want to be when you're older? Oh, fireman. Oh, how about you? Oh, I want to be a doctor. How about you? A bush pilot. All right, final time, and then we're going to get serious. Because she's 94. She knows something that we don't. Look at that gorgeous smile. All right, cool. Let's get serious on them now.
Trailblazers for discovering the North. Back when she was younger, she used to fly airplanes through bushes, known as a bush pilot, to discover and communicate with some of the most northern communities close to the Arctic Circle. After sitting down with Yvonne and talking about her life experiences and life lessons, I can honestly say that what she has to offer is something all of us need to hear today. So without further ado, let's jump into it.
Well, get out of it, Virgin, man. Look at these silly ads. Lucky there's an ad blocker.
How old are you?
94.
What does it feel like to be 94?
I don't know, because I have a hard time realizing that I am that old. What is age? To me, it isn't anything. You just live another year.
Well, you've been able to reach an age that most people don't reach, right? 94 is way above the average age. What have you done in your life that you think has gotten you to this point?
I've worked my whole damn life. And
That's not good. This is what I'm trying to get you guys to avoid. That's not good. Obviously, she smiles about it. Maybe she done something fulfilling. That could be the opposite. But for the majority of you guys, you're not doing anything fulfilling. And you know it, and I know it, because if this was your last day on earth and they told you have to go in for a shift, you're going to say, mate, get out of it, mate. I'm not being no bush pilot for you. I'm not going into work. So you're going to not go to work. Why? Because what you do on a day-to-day basis is not fulfilling. You're not doing your true purpose. So that's the thing. I know a guy who worked till they're 68 years old to enjoy the retirement and finally paid off their mortgage. And they died at 69. They worked their entire life on a job that they hated. And then they died the next year. True story, by the way. True story. Oh.
Done jobs I like. Always what I like doing. I think that's the reason that you live longer. I think that it's wrong
bush pilot.
to
Become a bush pilot.
retire, as in everybody says now, oh, well, when I retire, what are you going to do when you retire? Are you going to just do nothing? If you're going to do nothing and become a vegetable of watching TV and reading, and that's all, then you're not going to live to be long. You're not going to live to be 90 or 100.
What's a big mistake that you made or a big regret you have that you learned a valuable lesson from?
Accepting people at their word and believing in them. Sometimes you shouldn't do that. There are some days when I think, do you not learn anything quick? But then I think, oh well, it'll work out.
Are you married?
I was 75 or 76 years ago, something like that.
Yeah. Wow.
I was 19 when I got married, and I was about 24 when I got divorced, and I haven't got married again. I had one daughter, and
I'm curious. You should ask her who initiated the divorce, just for knowledge purposes. My inclination is she initiated the divorce, which is so unfortunate. But it's the true stats that is majority of the time is women initiating the divorce, unfortunately. But I'm curious if he's obviously not going to ask her, but I'm just curious to know the answer anyways.
I haven't got married again. I had one daughter, and my daughter got married and had 4 grandchildren, and they have been phenomenal. They are the best thing that ever happened to me. That's the only way to have children is grandchildren. You know, you can spoil them and give them back. And I love them. My youngest grandson is 50.
Do you believe in marriage still? Get married?
Oh, yes. I believe in marriage. And I certainly believe in grandchildren.
You're 94, so I'm assuming you were born in 1930.
That's right.
What was the world like back then? Most people who are listening or watching have no clue. We just read.
It was great. You went to school, you walked, there were no buses, you went home for lunches, you came back to school. You could go anywhere in town and never have to worry about a thing. We were kids and we could go wherever we wanted, and our parents didn't worry about us. Nowadays, it's dangerous. I think that the world has changed. People have changed. Some not so good. We should have the freedom that we had before. We should be able to feel comfortable, to go downtown at night, to walk around in the evening if you wanted to go anywhere that you wanted to go. There are changes, and you have to be careful.
There's so many big events that have happened that shifted the world. What is an event that, in your opinion, really changed the outlook?
When I was young, World War II was on, and I grew up in that. I was a teenager.
Do you remember the day that the Second World War ended? Is that the day that everyone knows?
Yes. On that day, I was working in the fish stocks in Prince Rupert, British Columbia, and the whistle started blowing, and we decided we would work to the end of the day, and that was it. I remember. But I don't think that it ever registered in my mind of what really really the end meant. The war doesn't affect people that are in a different country like it did us. We had ration book. You couldn't buy jam. You couldn't buy sugar. You couldn't buy butter. You couldn't buy meat. It was all on the ration book.
Crazy.
So that went away, obviously, at the end of the war.
Yeah.
People always say, I think the world is a scary place right now. I'm not really sure where to, if it's a good place. I'm not sure if things are going to get better. Seems like we're going downhill. But you've lived through World War, Vietnam War, all these different crazy conflicts, and society always comes out and advances. So what's your advice to people who are kind of worrying about that?
I wouldn't worry about it. People have been at war forever. Forever. I mean, just check history and see. There have been wars always, so there's going to still be wars always.
What is something that you think you spent too much time worrying about?
Well, I spent a lot of time worrying about the government, and then I decided that there wasn't any point in doing that because you can't do anything about it anyway. So it just meant that you're wasting your time. About 10 years ago, I just quit watching the news.
What'd you do instead?
I
Good
voted.
idea.
I always voted. I made a point. That was my one right
Yeah.
that you don't ever want to lose. And you want to be sure that you get out and vote.
What is a truth that you've learned about life that you wish more people understood?
Women can do anything that men can do, We can work, we can do any job, and we should be equal. And I have always been equal.
But you must have seen a lot of progression, at least, in that regard.
Yeah,
it was
but
probably
not
different
as
when you were growing
much
up.
as I think there should be. It's not been easy, but hey, it's been fun.
Yeah. I love that. If you could go back in time to, let's say, your 25-year-old self, knowing everything you know today, you could give her one piece of advice. What would you say to her?
Oh, I can't even think what it would be. I wouldn't go back to being 25 for anybody's money.
Wow.
Or 40, or even 50. I'm happy with the way life is now, and my life has been full of experiences and stories and things that I've done and places I've been, and I like it. I don't need to go back.
So I'm 25, just for reference. Okay. So I'm
She laughed.
almost about 70 years younger than you. If I want to get to where you are today, I want to feel the way you feel. I want to live to the age that you're at. What is your advice or recipe or strategy for that?
Keep active. Do what you like if it's at all possible. The job that you are doing, if you like it, stay at it, work, but keep active. Keep involved.
Wow. Let me skip this silly ad.
You've seen a lot of inventions
There we
over the years. What is, in your opinion, your least favorite invention the world has brought in?
I can't believe how little children are when they're getting phones. I think that children miss out on a lot by not going outside and playing and making up games and playing with all the kids in the neighborhood.
What about adults?
I think that people put a lot of trust in the equipment that they've got. And I'm not opposed to all of the equipment, but I just think they're missing out on a lot. Well, with my group, when the ladies that I go for coffee with and that, don't take your phone. Don't be answering your phone when we're having coffee or when we're going out. Or if you're going to a meeting, don't take your phone. When you get home, look at your phone and see who called.
There's something about how we live today that you could reverse a change that the world has made. What would that one be?
Nothing. You have to live with what you've got. Change
Surprising.
is going to keep on. Oh my God, every day there's changes. I learned how to text in the last year.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good at that.
Are you using the thumbs or are you using the index fingers?
I'm using finger.
Good question.
I don't have to change. I don't have to use that phone. I don't have to learn how to text. I've got a landline that I still use.
Oh, yeah?
But, I mean, I probably won't live that much longer, so I don't have to, I can accept it to a point and then still feel the way I feel.
If someone wanted to live a better life, happier life, longer life, what would be that one lesson you'd share with them?
Be honest with yourself. That's it.
Thank you.
Wow. Tell me that wasn't great. Okay, let's see some highlights.
Letter in a different country, like it did us.
But
we had ration book.
I'll tell you what was the best part. It was the bush pilot. Okay, but what I'll take from this is you need to do what essentially gives you fulfillment. If not, you're gonna lose yourself. Let's see what the comment says. She hit a nail on the head with the be honest with yourself. 100%. My grandmother just turned 103. Oh my goodylicious. 103. She still lives on her own. Wow. One time she told me the secret was to keep moving. Take stairs instead of elevators, which is so true, If you stop moving, your body will stop working. 100% I agree with that. Don't trust anyone. Something my mother advised me a few years ago. She has never been wrong with her advice, and I agree. Don't open up to people too much. Keep private. People have a tendency to trample all over precious things and stab you in the back. Sad but true. Wow, you can see a ton of people agreeing with this as well. I'm 47 years old and I learned that in that hard way. So meaning it happened to a lot of people. They're stabbed in the back by somebody they loved dearly. And unfortunately, they never quite opened up ever again, essentially. So look, my dad has always told me one word is enough for a wise man. If you're wise, you would prefer to not make mistakes that others have made. That's what a wise man does, right? Why make a mistake and then I have to go through the consequences when I can just learn from that guy over there that decided to put his foot on a train track. The train came, ran over, took off his foot, and now I must repeat the same mistake. Nah, I'm just going to learn that, hey, big man, never put your foot on no train track ever, because that's what happens. I don't need to do the same errors to learn, because I'm going to get the same consequences, essentially. So one word is enough for a wise man. I'll take you on the path that she didn't quite mention, which is the other thing you must do is start learning your finances, man. Start getting your finances in check. Your money, yes. Start getting your finances in check, because it's going to help you a ton. When you're too old and too wrinkly to turn up for a shift and you've got some residual income coming through. So that's something that's not spoken about enough. And I'll tell you the major thing that's not spoken about enough, and this is probably where most of you guys click off, is Jesus Christ. Yes, take him serious, because we're built to worship. We're built by a surgeon. There's somebody who knows our body better than we think we know our bodies. In fact, scientists have recently discovered at the point of life, when the cell or when the sperm is about to enter the egg, there's a massive flash that takes place, light. And the only person I know who calls himself the Prince of Peace, the God of Light, who refers himself directly as the God of Light, is Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh my days, he's mentioned Jesus. He's gone biblical on us. Oh my days. I'm telling you, take it as someone who tried to live a life without Christ, and it never ends well. Okay. So don't harden your heart. Christ is knocking on your door and you're there thinking, wow, I thought this was just going to be a finance-based advice video, but this guy is talking to me about Christ. Why would I do this? Think about it. Don't you think I'll be scared, or what if this puts them off? What if? But if I'm willing to sacrifice my channel, I'm willing to look crazy at the guy who's mentioning to you about Christ so casually whilst flicking through this paper money right here. I'll tell you this. In your darkest hour, in your time of crisis, and you've tried everything, it's not working, I challenge you to get on your knees and pray to Christ, to God, and tell me he doesn't come through. Don't be one of those silly goose that don't try things. They just write things off and they've never tried it. Try it. Seek him. The Bible says, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and the rest will be given over to you. And you'll quickly see that the money you're looking for, the peace that you're looking for, is all behind Christ. May God bless you all, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Comment Ronnie MP loves Christ in the comment section down below if you've watched the video this far, and suggest which video I should check out next.